social media is tough. Every year it changes, or every few months it's changing, and different platforms are coming out, and like, you know, it's becoming so saturated and competitive. And I've been doing it for like a decade now, so I'm exhausted.
Instagram, let's be honest, was built on like hot girls in swimsuits and
oh, absolutely.
Don't start an OnlyFans until you get the following first.
They think I'm cheating because I'm not, but since other guys get boners looking at me, like they obviously get to go find a girl who gives them a boner. They'll get resentful if they have to take care of everything, and then they'll get resentful if you're making money but you're not spending it. I want them to dominate me. Oh, pretty privilege is 100% a thing. More than half of the girls flaked, like, I want to say an hour before the party, and so the party was just a bunch of dudes, and they were all pissed. I had to take more adult role when I was like 14.
If I don't care about somebody and I'm not jealous of them, I'm not just gonna randomly like, yeah, fuck this person.
Right.
Like, people only do that to people that they're jealous of, which means that you're making.
I don't like to date younger guys. I just feel like the emotional maturity isn't there. The older you get, the more you're not gonna be able to.
Welcome to Unattainable. Glad to have you with us. I'm your host, Zach Evans, and first of all, thank you to all of our listeners. We've been getting a ton of growth and engagement over the last few weeks, so we gotta thank you guys out there for that. Today we got a special guest on the show. This is Antje.
Hi.
Antje, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience, name, what you do, and your star sign.
All right. Hi, I'm Antje. I'm an actress and a model, and I'm on OnlyFans, and I'm a Leo. The best of the kind. So why'd you laugh like that?
Two intimate experience with Leos, and
we're the best. We're fun.
They never end well. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we're crazy.
Fun.
Passionate.
Bad for my mental health. Let's put it like that.
Right. I don't. Are you a Libra?
No. No. How dare you?
I don't know. Libra. Okay, Gemini.
What the fuck? Gemini's the worst one. That's like the
Leo's
most
like
toxic.
Geminis. You have like you also like.
Nobody guesses me though. I'm Pisces.
Oh.
Well, I don't identify as Pisces though.
Okay,
We're
early
Pisces
or late Pisces?
Late, March 18th.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So almost Aries.
I dated one of you once.
Yeah, we're the best. Proven by science, numerous studies.
Actually, I didn't like you at all. No offense.
Even ilovepisces.com has proclaimed that we're the best sign. Yeah.
Well, iloveleos.com said the same thing. So.
Yeah, but that's fake news. That's fake news, CNN. Yeah. No. Interesting. By the way, I used to be very toxic back in my villain era, but not anymore. Now I'm very shy and romantic.
All right, a lot of therapy.
Yeah.
Most men are toxic in their early.
But I was a professional fuckboy, not like these amateur Gen Z fuckboys.
What's a professional fuckboy like?
Like you take your shirtless selfies like at Equinox. Now that LA Fitness, like the peasants nowadays.
All right, so a little douchey.
You guys date guys who fucking have beds that touch 2 walls. It's like.
No, I don't.
You not know what a nightstand is.
What? I would not. If I saw a guy who didn't even have like a bed frame, I would walk out.
Okay, that's
or a nightstand.
One of your ex.
One of my ex. Yeah, you have to be well rounded.
It's a new.
You have to have furniture.
Furniture is a plus. Yeah, yes. Couch. You know.
Right. Yeah. Otherwise, they probably don't have a lot going for them. So.
I got personality catfished by this girl one time.
What's that?
It's crazy. This was like early COVID. Everybody's blown up on TikTok, right?
Right.
So she had like 1 million plus on TikTok. She does dances, whatever, hot girl shit,
Okay, right.
And every day on her Instagram story, yacht, private jet, Tulum, all this shit, right? But every time we hang out, like she comes to my place. And so I'm like, I can come to your place every so often. Like, it's okay. She's like, nah, that's all right. I'm like, this is kind of sketch.
Well, I mean, if she's a hot girl and she's going to all those places, she's obviously not paying for it.
But you
thought she was?
I knew she wasn't paying for that, but I assumed the fact she has 1 million TikTok followers, she figured out how to monetize it. Somehow you're making money off that.
Right. I mean, if you have a big following on social media, it doesn't always necessarily mean you make a lot of money.
Especially TikTok, because what I've learned is like YouTube, you make money.
No, for sure.
OnlyFans, you make money.
Right, absolutely.
Instagram, sometimes.
Yeah, it depends.
TikTok, it's like you have to really have a lot of followers. Yeah. I mean, because the advertisers know, oh, you got 1 million views on this video. Okay, someone did this. And then literally like 0.5 seconds later, like next swipe.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to have millions on TikTok. I made 3 different accounts, and then they kept on deleting me. So yeah.
You know,
I gave up.
You know what's insane to me? Do you have the same on Instagram?
What?
Like they're deleting your posts? And
No, they don't delete, but I'm shadow banned. So you have to put in my entire @name if you can find me.
I see.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, so I owned a company in the modeling agency for
Okay.
a decade. We started off more the fashion modeling industry. And then as time went on, we got more into the influencer, Instagram. Not really the OnlyFans space, but kind of like borderline of that space.
Okay.
And there's so much more money in that side of things.
And OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Then like fashion modeling is like, I don't know how
Yeah.
any of these companies are still around.
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
It's like bizarre to me. But the crazy part is Instagram, let's be honest, was built on like hot girls in swimsuits and
Oh,
less than-
absolutely.
So
it was like free OnlyFans content in the beginning. It was. That's how I got my following on Instagram. And I was like, fuck this. I should monetize it. And
Smart.
yeah, OnlyFans came about in 2020. I hopped on, and yeah.
It's crazy.
It's fantastic.
Because then like Instagram got big and now like everybody uses it.
Yeah,
And
it's
now they're like,
saturated.
oh, we don't need like the hot girls anymore. So let's start banning all their posts. It's
know.
like, it's like if someone like pulled you up the mountain and you get to the top of the mountain and they're like, no, we don't need you anymore.
Yeah.
Like push you off. It's
I
like
know.
crazy to me.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. You just got to keep on growing like all these other platforms, and
It is what it is.
social
You
media
figure
is
out a way.
tough. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like you have to, every year it changes, or every few months it's changing, and different platforms are coming out, and like, you know, it's becoming so saturated and competitive. And I've been doing it for like a decade now. So I'm exhausted.
I bet.
I'm I'm over this shit.
How did was Instagram your first platform that kind of blew up?
Actually, I got big on Snapchat first.
Snapchat.
Yes.
The sleeper.
Yeah, I know.
That's
And then
crazy.
they deleted my account in 2020.
Okay.
I had like a 500,000 on Snapchat. And then that's quickly rolled over into my Instagram in like 2014.
Okay.
I grew like 100,000 followers in 6 months. I had 300 to start. And I was like, fuck this. Maybe there's something here. And I moved out to California. And then I grew all of my other platforms.
Since then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think OnlyFans is one of those things where sometimes girls ask me like, oh, should I start an OnlyFans? I'm like, don't start an OnlyFans until you get the following first.
Yes.
Because otherwise they're going to get on OnlyFans that have no followers and they're like, why
Right.
did I even do this?
I know. And then I've had girls come to me like, can you help me? Can you post me? I'm like, no. I mean, if you pay me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just
I mean,
like,
there has to be an equal value.
yeah, I
exchange.
built my accounts up and I made my own brands, and I'm not just going to like free publicize everybody. Like also that saturates what I get then, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I should start an agency.
It is interesting because the company I owned in the modeling industry, we do events, we get photographers, makeup artists,
Okay.
models, everything, right?
Right.
And there's always this like little bit of tension between like photographers and models from the standpoint of like
Yeah.
photographers would kind of have this attitude of like, hey, like are you gonna pay me for this? And then
Right.
models would be like, hey, like you should be paying me for this. And it was like
Right.
this weird dichotomy of like some people do things for free, some people don't.
Right.
And I think at the end of the day, it's like, okay, it's just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like if you're big and you can get photographers to pay to shoot you,
For free. Yeah.
go for it. Or for free.
It's
yeah.
just like, I mean, I usually shoot for free. Like when I was growing my accounts, it would just be, they would shoot me and I would just have to tag them. But as far as OnlyFans, they know you're making a fuck ton of money off that content. So you do pay them. But I just pay my people like a base. And I'm like, this is what you get to shoot me. And that's it. And it's worked out for me. So.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
I mean, I don't think they deserve a cut. I mean, in the beginning, like I've shot so much of my own content, and that's even how I grew all my platforms. And then in the beginning of COVID, I shot all my own content. So I just set up an iPhone and press the timer and go back and pose. It would take me a long time, but shit, I mean, I keep a lot more of my money.
Yeah, and the reality is that nobody wants to admit is like photographers, they would come to me like, complaining, moaning or whatever. Like, oh, I have to do all this work. I have to like take the photos back and edit them all and do all these things.
I do my own editing.
Interesting.
I'm like, you just take the photo and I will even direct you. I'm like, do this. And then I like check it. And I'm like, no, you did it wrong. So I'm very hands-on.
I see.
So I feel like, I mean, at that point I could hire anybody,
And also, like, girls also put in a lot of time with makeup and clothes and doing these things and figuring out your audience, Yeah. And so what I would always tell people is, like, don't get mad if somebody asks you for money. Just say no. Like, if you don't want to do it, like then just be like, no. And the reality is, like, the thing that would piss me off if I was, like, a photographer is if a girl asks to work with me. Like, she came into my DMs, hey, can we shoot together? And then afterward was like, oh yeah, here's my rates. And I'd kind of be like, you asked me.
No.
Don't try to come at me like that if you asked me.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I would never. Also, there's people I like, if I come to you and I really love your work, I'm down to pay. Like I will say, like, if you want to do it for a trade, but if you're not willing to do it for trade, then I'm down to pay you, but then don't expect a tag. Yeah.
A tag seems like a little much to me for just one time shooting content and then unless maybe if it's like a girl with like no followers and a photographer that has absolutely
no.
Okay,
I mean, you have to
sense.
have millions of followers if you want that.
Yeah.
But and then if I really like the person, sometimes I'll just tag them to be nice. But I always remind them, like, if I paid you, it's not like something I have to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, not to be a bitch.
It is what it is. I like to say all's fair in love, war, and business.
Right. Exactly.
If it's like, there's no like, you won't be at war and like, oh, they're cheating because they're hiding in the trees and shooting at us. Like, no, bitch, this is war. Right. Same with love. Like, if like, oh, like they blah blah, they like this other person instead of me. Like, too bad. Like, it is what it is. You know?
And then business, of course, that's a good add-on. Yeah. Because it's true.
Speaking of love, how is it being not only on OnlyFans but also super toxic as a Leo?
Oh yeah, exactly.
And you're
super toxic.
Dating in LA.
Dating in LA obviously sucks. I've been out here for 9 years, and let me tell you, it's
Everybody
fucking
knows.
awful. Everybody knows. But dating in this era, just in general, fucking sucks with social media and everything. But dating when you're an OnlyFans model is even worse, because all the guys want you in a sense. Either because a guy loves, when a girl can make her own money, whatever. Like, there's a lot of girls in LA who want the guy to take care of them, right? A lot of these OnlyFans models are able to take care of themselves, which is amazing. But I mean, obviously, if I go out with you, buy me my dinner, or if we go on a trip, like, take me on a trip. But I'm not asking you to pay my bills. I'm not asking you to pay my rent. I'm doing that for myself. But these guys, I feel like you give them a chance, they'll come on in and they'll be okay with that and they'll love that. And then a few months in, they'll start to get really jealous that that's how you're making your money. And I've had guys that'll want me to stop, or they'll want me to like start buying them stuff because they're like, oh, well, I deserve some of the money, or just start putting me down for it. Like, they were totally okay with it in the beginning. And then like a few months go by and they're just throwing insults constantly at me. And I don't know, like calling you a whore and stuff like that. And I'm like
subtly undermining you.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll show them like my content. I'll even send it to them, and then they'll get pissed at me because they're like, oh, well, everyone sees this. Everyone gets to see you. Which I guess I don't know, but I'm not hiding anything. And it hurts my feelings when I was so upfront. I'll tell them on the first date.
Like, look, this is what it is.
100%. Yeah. And then later on, they're just like not okay with it. Jealousy gets in the way. And then I think that they think I'm cheating because I'm not. But since other guys get boners looking at me, like they obviously get to, go find a girl who gives them a boner, because it's fair. But it's not fair. That's not how it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I dated 2 OnlyFans girls in my past.
Okay.
How
was
neither
that?
of them, it didn't bother me at all.
Okay.
The hard part, well, I'll get to that in a second. So do you do things with guys on your channel? Or is it
No,
just you?
no, just me.
Yeah. And that's where, like, my boundary for my personal, how I like relationships, I don't care if they pictures, videos, as long as it's not them actually interacting with an actual dude. I don't care.
Right.
And
Wait, what about touching themselves?
No, that's fine.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, no, I draw the line there too.
Really?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I was doing implied nudity lingerie and swimwear.
Oh, not even naked.
Not even naked. And these guys would be fucking so mad at me. And I'm like, what the hell?
It's just weird because you're upfront with them. Like, if you were trying to hide it, I get it. Okay, that's kind of fucked up.
I'll do like a wet t-shirt on occasion for my VIPs, or you know what I mean, or body paint or something fun. But like, that's still, I feel like I shot for Playboy back in the day too, and I was non-nude for them too. But like, it's kind of the same style. And I'm like, how are you okay with that? And then when I was getting my following in the beginning on Instagram, I was doing fucking hand bras. And now you guys aren't okay with it because I'm making money off of it. I don't know. It pisses me off. I hate dating. Yeah.
I just think, like, what's the difference between like some fucking swimsuit they have nowadays where it's just like a piece of dental floss going down, or being naked? Like, is it any different? It's like you pretty much see everything anyway.
No, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, but I'm not doing anything that's like super aggressive with the guys. I think it's because other guys get to see that. And they feel like it's sacred because that's what they get to see in bed.
I see.
You know?
To me, it was like weirdly like, because guys would ask me like, do you feel weird that other guys can see a girl naked? But to me, it was like, man, all across America, right? All of these little simps are just so happy. Will spend their hard-earned money working doubles at the dirt factory to like see a picture of my girl.
I know.
And at the end of the day, she comes home to me. It was almost an ego boost. Like, it kind of made me feel like an ego boost. Actually.
Yeah, I can see that. And I feel like the guys should see it that way. Like, other guys find me attractive. Isn't that good on you? You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. That topic just like, I just want to punch a bag.
so it's interesting that, do you think, like, because you mentioned that the guys were angry that you're making more money. Was it more the money, or was it more the, oh, other guys are seeing you naked kind of thing?
I think it was because my last two boyfriends did way more than me. They made a lot. They were very successful. Young.
On OnlyFans, or you're saying?
No. They were both in tech.
Okay.
So like, it was the ones before that everyone I've dated is at this caliber, right? Like, they're equally successful or more successful than me.
I see.
And the ones who I felt were equally successful as me would get jealous because they would have to work, and do all these things to make their money. But then I would just have to go sell a photo of myself to a guy.
And then they were like, years on this business.
And they would get so pissed. And I was like, okay, but I also, the last decade, built up this huge brand and this huge following. And now I'm like monetizing that properly. And you're mad at me for that? I don't know. I think it comes down to the fact that I was creating boners. That's what one of them said to me. So I was like, I'm sorry. But yeah, what can you do?
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like nowadays, what happens is guys watch 3 Andrew Tate videos, and then they're like, I am the alpha. And it's kind of like, who are you the alpha of? The Wendy's that you work at? Or it's like, you have to like put in the responsibility to like deserve the boss status. And I think a lot of guys, probably not as much the guys you date, because you date successful guys or whatever, but a lot of guys do feel emasculated if a girl makes more money than them.
Right.
When it's really just, they don't even know why they feel emasculated. They just feel like, oh man, I feel disrespected. Even if a girl's being very respectful about it.
Well, it's really weird too, because I feel like a guy wants a girl to make money, but they still want to take care of them, but they don't want to fully take care of them. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's they'll get resentful if they have to take care of everything. And then they'll get resentful if you're making money, but you're not spending it on them, if that makes sense. I'm like, but I'm the girl.
to me, here's my take on relationships.
I'm like, unless it's Christmas, your birthday, or, I don't know, then I don't have to be getting you like something like massive for like a gift, Like, I'll do sweet things here and there, but I feel like that's more like the guy that should be doing that. That's just my like old fashioned take on it.
So I was brought up very old school. My dad is like one of those like.
We're both from Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's like, you take a girl on a date, like, I'm paying for it, right?
Right.
Walk on the sidewalk, like walk on the car side. So if the car comes, protect. One hand, stop the car.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a Prius, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's a G-Wagon, then like obviously use the girl human shield, protect myself, then administer CPR, save the day.
Right, exactly.
So I draw the line personally on trips. So I will pay for a girl for dinner. I travel a lot. If I take a girl on a trip, like, I'm paying. I'm not, here's the splitsies, here's the Venmo request.
Right.
Like, it just feels weird to me.
Yeah, I think it's fucked up too.
But to me, if I buy a girl, the second I'm buying her like Louis Vuitton purses, now I feel like I'm a sugar daddy. And I don't like that feeling. It feels like I'm buying this for you, like, please like me, here's a purse. As opposed to like, hey, we're experiencing something together that we're both enjoying.
Right. And I feel like a lot of guys feel like that. And that's very common in the relationships I've been in. But obviously the longer it goes, like if it's my birthday or Christmas, then I will get something nice, like a gift. But it's not like a occurrence otherwise. But that's okay. I'm not expecting that. I can do it myself.
Yeah.
I'm just expecting you to pick up the tab if we're going to dinner or, like I said, like a vacation. If you invite me and you're like, hey, let's go here for the weekend, I'm like, okay. Yeah, like, you know.
Yeah, and to me, it's like,
I mean, I could, but that's also kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like it's something like you said that the guy should.
It just feels right to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've had guys before in the past like ask if I could split like like they would get groceries, and since they cooked for me, they would be like, okay, and here's like half of like the groceries I got. I'm like, what? That's nuts.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny they're cooking for you also.
Yeah. Oh, all the guys I've dated have cooked for me.
Do you?
Yeah. I love it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, okay.
Do you typically go for, because you seem to have a
alpha personality?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
So do you find yourself happiest in relationships with guys that are super alpha to make you feel like a woman, or do you like kind of like the pretty boys who like you take the alpha role, they take more of the feminine role?
I don't like the pretty boys.
Okay.
That's not really my thing. I like the super alpha guys who kind of put me in my place. I think that's hot. But I like a little submissive to them as well. Like be super alpha but then be like a little
emotional side.
Yeah, oh, I mean emotional and just like submissive to me.
Like in bed.
No, I want them to dominate me on that.
Okay.
But I'm just like no. But how can I explain it? Just be like a little
softer on the edges.
like a little. I want you to like praise me. Like I want you to be like obsessed with me.
I see.
If you know, like so, like that way, I guess being submissive, like all about me and emotional and like lovey-dovey, but like a man.
I see. But then, so if then on the flip side, if you find a guy who is like that, then do you reciprocate that same energy back?
Yes, I do.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I am alpha and I have to like take myself down a lot, not like take myself down, but it's like I find my therapist tells me I need to like pull back the reins a little bit sometimes because I can be like a little, you know, overbearing, like not overbearing, but like just intense. And so I need to like be a little bit more feminine.
I see.
Yes.
And that's the thing, like I'm very happy in the traditional like male female roles, but what happens a lot of times is there's girls who aren't successful like you, right? But they still want to have this kind of like boss bitch attitude. Yeah. And that bothers me because it's like, yo, I'm paying for everything.
Right.
Fine. You want to be a boss bitch, then be a boss bitch. But now you got to put in the boss bitch work. You got to have the boss bitch responsibility and accountability, which most girls don't want. But then I start to feel resentful and kind of like used when girls have that attitude.
100%. I would too if I were you. Yeah, no, you have to earn the title. Yeah, you can't just, you know, have a successful boyfriend and be like, I hate girls like that. Actually, it pisses me off. And then they act all stuck up and like act like they're better than you, but they don't make any money for themselves. And then like they're all showboaty with everything they have, but then when you go on a girl to girl lunch, they want you to pick up the tab.
Yeah, and it's kind of
and then
like,
they act all like they almost expect it, and then they act all like bitchy and don't say thank you and just like snobby, and I'm like what the fuck? And
they want this kind of like clout of the nice dinner and look how cool I am. But then it's like, oh wait, but you don't want to pitch in for anything.
No. If it's even $100, they freak the fuck out. And I'm like,
to me, it's the equivalent that I told a girl this one time because she like couldn't understand it. I'm like, I literally told her, I was like, have you ever met like a rich kid and he has mommy's and daddy's money, but every day he's acting like he's a shit. Look at me on this yacht. Look at me with this fucking convertible, whatever.
Yeah, but then you go out with him and he's like, doesn't pay for anything.
Yeah, and then or even if he's just cocky about it, and you're like, you didn't earn this, you just got lucky. Your parents are rich, and they gave you everything.
Right.
That's how guys feel when there's a girl who's just hot girl, and she's on all these yachts and everything just because she's a hot girl, and it's like your parents just gave you the good genetics. You didn't do anything. And that's fine.
I'm in the gym twice a day. Like, I did something.
And I'm like, more power to you. Like I tell people, like, I'm like straight white male, like my privilege, and I'm a Pisces, so I'm like way up here.
Knock yourself down a peg.
But the one thing that beats me is like pretty privilege. Okay. And I'm like, if I was a girl, I would use that shit to its maximum.
Pretty privilege is 100% a thing.
But it only lasts like 10 years.
There's also pretty hate. If that makes sense. So there's pretty privilege, but then you also, there's so many times where like, it also can go the opposite way for me. And I get like criticized and actually opportunities taken away because of the way I look. Interesting.
You're saying for acting more, or what do you mean?
For acting 100%. But also just for other things. I feel like sometimes, you know, there's a hater, there's a girl who'll be like working something and she won't she'll be mean to you right off the bat. But then if it's a guy, you're usually in good shape. But yeah, I mean, it goes both ways. Oh, also guys sometimes will be like, oh, she's just a pretty little bimbo bitch. And then they, you know, just brush you off. And then I always show them a thing or two. But like, I do martial arts, bitch. Let's go.
It's interesting because, so I remember the first like beautiful girl, like truly beautiful girl that I dated. I was 25. It took me like a while to like get my shit together.
Right.
And I remember before that, I had always had this attitude: hot girl in LA, your life's easy. It's blah, 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 free everything, more opportunities. But then you start to realize once you actually are around somebody like this, that like, yes, but every opportunity like has these weird invisible strings attached, right? And then on top of that, it's hard to know what girls have your back and what girls are secretly jealous of you. Right. And it's hard to go what guys are your friends and then what guys, you know, secretly are trying to fuck you. And if you reject them, they're going to get angry and butthurt and talk shit about you behind your back. Right. So it's like there's advantages and disadvantages. And at the end of the day, I think everything always ends up balancing out in a weird way. Right.
I mean, that's definitely true. And then the older you get, the more you obviously see that. And I felt like COVID was a big eye opener for that. Some of my friend groups just deteriorated, like overnight, but honestly, they were all fake bitches. Same thing. Like they were either clout chasing you knew somebody that they wanted to get to, or, you were always hanging in the cool crowd. You got to go to the cool parties, or, it was always something, or, you know, they wanted you to tag them when you go out to brunch and just dumb shit, or they knew that you would pay because you could afford to pay for yourself. And I was coming from Wisconsin. I was just, I came out here by myself too, and I wanted friends. And sometimes I would just like pick up the bill to be nice. I always picked up the bill on like birthdays too, right? And like some birthdays, I wouldn't even know the person, and like none of the friends were throwing down, so I would pay the bill. And then it would come down to like mine, and I would even have rich kids there, or like parents, you know, their parents were rich, and they would have been bringing a fucking bottle of wine. You know, I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? I felt like it was never like reciprocated back to me. And then that's when I stopped, and I really realized like, you guys are all fake. And I was just so sick of it. Like, it's also LA, but just in general, being in the industry that we are in, I feel like it's people, you know, they look at you, they see millions of followers, a hot girl, she probably gets a bunch of free shit. They see you with like a Chanel or, you know, Cartier or whatever the fuck you have on, and they just kind of assume one thing. And I don't know, I feel like they just take advantage of you, and it's just not real. And I'm so sick of that. Yeah.
It is very bizarre to me that I remember it took me so long to figure out why girls want clout. And for guys, I get it. If you're a guy, you start here, you're lonely, you're jerking off in your mom's basement. Then you like get clout, and then girls like you, and then you get to have sex with girls. I'm like, okay, I get it. Linear path between like being lonely to like getting to have like great experiences. Right. But for girls, it's kind of like you start here and you get clout, and then you just have clout. It's like,
I know, but like they want to keep up with all the other girls who have the clout.
Yeah.
They want to be more popular than Rachel and Sarah and the people in their friend group. Everyone wanted to have the most followers and be like the head honcho, right? So you compete against each other. It was all just you'd find a group and you compete within that group.
It's literally like
That's how
high
it
school.
was.
It's
Yeah,
like
it
high
was
school all
exactly.
over again. Yeah.
I know, and we all couldn't wait to get the fuck out of high school, and here we are.
Yeah.
Doing it out in LA. So. Whatever.
It's crazy. My ex, it was her birthday the other day, and she's like, "Oh, can I use the house? Like everybody wants to use the house for events and stuff." So she bought all these decorations, decorated the whole thing, got all this food and alcohol, and she's like, "Zach, on Party Full, I got 80 people on the list." She's all excited, and literally 10 people showed up.
Oh no, that's happened to me before.
And the thing is, like, and I don't know your story and stuff.
Well, not 80. I mean, that's actually kind of bad if you're having a house party. That's different. Like if I had like little events before, not to mean to cut you off, where like at restaurants where I would have it comped for like 10 people and 2 people would show. Like that kind of bullshit.
Yeah, and restaurants is tough. Like when I was doing events, whenever there's like a limited number of people, it's like you have no idea what girl literally like 30 minutes before is, "Oh, hey, sorry."
Always 30 minutes before.
It's like, at least, like, I don't even care if you flake.
Yeah, just have the balls to say it like a little earlier.
Even the morning of, just flake the morning of so I can like
invite,
fill the slot.
Exactly.
Because my job was like filling slots. It was constantly like list management,
Right. But all the girls, they want to do it 10 minutes before. And then it's like, I had a party once too where I rented the house. Like, I think more than half of the girls flaked. Like, I want to say an hour before the party. And so the party was just a bunch of dudes and they were all pissed. It's kind of funny.
You promised to be pussy.
Yeah.
Where's the pussy at this party?
Right. Okay, wait, sorry. Back to your ex.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, like, because I would see how she would interact with her friends. And what she would do is I would see her at a party with her actual friends where she is having actual fun. And then she gets a text from a promoter that, "Oh, Soldier Boy's going to be at this other party." And I'm like, first of all, Soldier Boy hasn't been relevant since 2006.
Right.
Second of all, the promoter is probably lying to you. And he might, it's like a 50-50 he's actually even going to be there.
Right.
Third of all, if you continue to like leave your real friends and prioritize clout and status and everything else.
Right.
Then you made your bed. At some point, you got to kind of sleep in it.
Right, absolutely.
So,
but also, I mean, I don't know what kind of girls you're going out with, but that sounds awful. Like, I feel like I would get that text. I'm like, "Fuck you, man. I'm not doing that shit. And like, you want to pay me $10K, I'll show up. Maybe." I'm not going to show up. That's awful. I hate clubs now. Fuck. I'll maybe go once a year.
I like clubs every so often.
Yeah.
Every so often. But it's like, has to be one of those nights.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm changing dramatically.
How old are you? You're
I'm
very confusing.
29. How am I confusing?
You seem like you're like, mid-30s, but
What?
you look like you're like 20 with a fake ID. Like your personality and your looks are very different.
Oh, okay. Well, at least the looks are younger. I was like, you look mid-30s. I'm like, bitch.
Like, I don't know whether to talk about like investing or like doing Molly at Disneyland. Like, it's very confusing.
I know. No, I get that a lot. The maturity.
You take good care of yourself for 29 for sure.
Thank you. Turning 30 this year. Obviously in August, so I have 6 more months. Okay. But I've always had to be a little bit more mature given how I was like grew up. And I feel like I had to take more of the adult role when I was like 14. Okay. So I feel like that obviously changes people, You
have to grow up fast, mature fast.
Oh, for sure. And then I came out here by myself when I was 20.
Okay.
I didn't know anyone. I knew like one person I met online, which sounds so sketchy, but I was
like
just
a guy or like
a guy. Okay. He was a reality TV star, and we had been talking for like 2 months. I had like 80,000 followers on Instagram at the time, and he had like 30,000. So I thought he was like legit. He ended up being legit. Okay. Thank God. But I was like, okay, well, I always have my car, and I can always drive back. That was my logic. But I definitely took a risk. And yeah, my parents, the one thing they said I had that they didn't have were balls. So I'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, Wisconsin is very much a place where 90% of people They stay in their same town.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my dad worked at the factory. I'm going to work at the same factory until I'm 65. I'm going to be married at age 20, have 3 kids. And it's very much that kind of environment.
I know. And that was never a life I saw for myself. So, and then especially when my social media started to grow and I was out there, I feel like I got treated so differently. It was like uncomfortable to be out there anymore, you know? Teased a lot actually by guys. They would come up and make like inappropriate comments towards me, and like I would just be like walking down the street, and I was just sick of it. So I was like, fuck this, I'm moving to LA. Yeah.
I mean, people get jealous, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing my mom one of the biggest lessons she taught me when I was younger was, I was 15. I came home crying because all these girls were picking on me. I just got my braces off and I was like slaying it. And I just remember she's like, from here on out, like, just so you know, like, people are always going to be jealous of you. And that was the biggest lesson that she taught me during that time. Because, you know, when you don't know you're pretty yet, if that makes sense, and people are just so fucking mean to you. And you don't know why. And no matter how nice you are, the jealousy, like, in anything, I don't know, it just takes over, and I don't know where I'm going with this anymore.
Well, it's funny because so I always tell people this, and girls never believe me, but it's true. And I'm gonna relate it back to this, but if I get out of a relationship, if a girl ever said like, oh yeah, Zach, you know, he's such a great guy, he's such a sweetheart, like gives me all these compliments, any girl would be lucky to have him, just not the right time, whatever. I would feel offended. I'd be like, stop talking shit behind my back.
Right.
But if a girl says, fuck Zach, he's an asshole, he's a narcissist, yeah, I hate him, he's so annoying.
Right.
I'm like, I take that as a compliment because it means I know that she was in love with me.
Right.
So when you get haters that like say shit about you negative, it's like, if I don't care about somebody and I'm not jealous of them, I'm not just going to randomly like, yeah, fuck this person.
Right.
Like people only do that to people that they're jealous of, which means that you're making it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you know, it's a hard lesson, I guess, at 15 to realize, you know, but totally, you're right. If people are hating on you, then they're just jealous. Yeah. So
for sure.
Fuck yeah, haters. Let's go.
Haters are my motivator.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's your type? Let's go looks first.
Okay, what's my type? I don't really have a type.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not lying. Okay, taller than me, which I'm 5'10".
Okay, that's...
Ideally taller than that because I like to wear heels. I'm not like one of those tall girls who's shy about it. So, okay, 6'2" minimum on the height. And then looks-wise, age-wise, I would like 33 or above. 48 is probably the highest I'll go. But I don't like to date younger guys. I just feel like the emotional maturity isn't there, especially guys in their early 30s. It's still not there, and mid sometimes. But look-wise, not like super overweight, but I don't mind like a little chub.
Little dad bod.
It's kind of hot sometimes for me. I also love dessert, so my biggest thing is like if I go on a date and a guy says like the lady comes and they're like, any more like want anything for dessert, and they just shoo him away, or like, no, we're good. Sorry, he misspoke. I will have one of everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Because, yeah, 100%. I want to try everything. I'm a huge dessert connoisseur. Okay. I would just like to taste and like sample. But that was your fuck up because you didn't even ask me. So because you didn't ask me, I'm going to have one of everything. And it's always a turn on for me when the guy does that without me asking. I'm like, yes, you're the one. I know. Anyways, that's what I look for.
That's your red flag. Right,
no, that's a green flag for me. I'm like
one of everything.
Yes, I'm like one of everything with desserts. Like green flag.
You probably have one bite.
I'm like, you can have a dad bod all you want.
You're like, it's fair because you can have the dad bod. I want my desserts.
Yeah, exactly. So that doesn't bother me. And then I mean, I like nice teeth. I don't want a guy who has like a fucked up smile. I'm open to it. I'm open to races, hair color, pretty much anything. I guess I'm just kind of a little bit picky on the height. That's it.
It isn't. So the first fashion model I ever dated, she was 5'11", so
Okay.
3 inches shorter than me, but heels, it's like we're pretty close, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was funny because she said before that, like, she'd always date like basketball players, NBA players, stuff like that.
Right.
And she said, Zach, I got fucked over by so many of those guys.
For sure.
She's like, the next guy I dated was like this 5'8", like short king. She was like successful, funny, great personality, everything.
Right.
I'm like, what happened to him? She's like, yeah, one night I had a couple glasses of wine. And she said she opens the door, he like walks in, and she's like, she gave him a hug and she picked him up and she spun him around. And she's like, Zach, I watched his little legs flail out. She's like, after that moment, I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh no, that's kind of weird. Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it. I'm like, it's your fault for doing that.
I've
You didn't
dated a
have to
guy
do
shorter
that.
than me before, and I
Okay.
didn't like care for it, but I didn't.
Did it
hate
feel
it.
weird though, like kissing down?
I didn't prefer it. It's not like it was. If he was the one for me, I would have looked past that. So I'm not saying like it's a hard no if he's not that height requirement for me, because I will try. But you obviously have to be successful, have a good personality, funny is definitely a bonus. Smart. I date very smart guys. If you're a dumbass, no offense, but you can chew.
It's interesting. I've become increasingly picky on intelligence in the last probably 4 or 5 years.
Right.
But not intelligence like they went to college, they read a bunch of books, something like that.
Right.
But like social intelligence, emotional intelligence,
Right.
people are self-aware, interested in psychology and these kinds of things.
Right.
I just don't remember what I used to talk about to girls like when I was
Back
like
in the
in my
day.
20s, in my fuckboy era. I'm like, what did I talk about with these girls? Like these
Right.
19-year-olds that just like have no idea about.
Probably what do you like in bed, baby?
Probably just like fucking
boy.
partying and I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
even
exactly.
know.
I was out with Tiesto last night.
Bro, sick. I literally
It was
don't
probably
know.
like that, to be honest. We were probably like going back and forth on who was cooler.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember.
You know what I mean? Like just being major douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the last young girl I dated. She was 19 at the time.
Ooh.
And I was going to like
Wait, how old were you?
29, I think.
Okay.
No, I think I was 30. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't believe that age actually matters. I think it's
No.
maturity level.
No. But I feel like 19 is just pretty young. They don't know anything.
To me, it's tough. My wheelhouse is like 23 to 26. That's kind of like where I typically, I mean, it doesn't matter that much, but that's my typical range. Just
Right.
because like when a girl's still in college, it's like you haven't had to like get a job and like, oh shit, I have to like bills to pay. You
Right.
haven't had to like learn any kind of responsibility.
Right.
So it makes it kind of hard to connect on a deeper level with
Right.
people like that, I think.
Right. How old are you now?
32.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So you're definitely, yeah. That's tough. I feel like the older you get, the more you're not gonna be able to like put up with that.
This girl,
I mean,
I invited her to this. There's like networking event, like very classy. Like
Right.
there's gonna be a lot of people I know there and everything. So I'm like, and I tell her that like very classy, like you know, cocktail dress kind of vibes.
Okay.
And she shows up in this like rainbow dress. And she has like glitter all like she looks like she's going to like a rave or some shit.
Oh, no.
She looked like fucking Hello Pony. Hello Pony?
Hello Kitty?
Hello Kitty just fucking raw dog
Or-
the full tube of glitter. It was
Yeah.
just like
Oh fuck. No, or the ponies, like My Little Pony.
My Little Pony. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
yeah.
And I was just like I was just a little bit embarrassed, like walking around and like I'm
Right.
like, hey, this is like the girl I'm dating.
Right.
And they're kind of like, it's just kind of
Yeah.
like awkward.
That is awkward. I feel like I got maybe a little too sophisticated, like in my like mid to late 20s. I've dated, or actually a lot of my 20s, I dated a lot like more sophisticated older men. So, who were successful. So like whenever I would have to go to events, I would hang out with like older people who were like very like put together and you know rich, like old money type of vibes. So I feel like I got robbed of sometimes my slutty era, like of my like kitty era, my Hello
Yeah,
Kitty era. I feel like I just like wore like a lot of turtlenecks and shit like that, which is funny because then you see me on my OnlyFans, I'm like naked. I'm like I have two sides for
That's
sure.
hilarious.
But anyways, yeah, I only dress a little hoey when I'm out with my ladies. But yeah.
I mean, you said a couple times you prioritize success, ambition, like those kind of guys.
Yes.
It's interesting. So when I had the company in the modeling industry, right, we had this thing that we would call hot guy phase.
Okay.
And it's like girls who 18, 19, 20, they were new to the agency, whatever, always dating, hot young guy, dangly earrings, six pack. These guys were literally clones of each other. Like you couldn't tell them apart. It's like, whose boyfriend is that? Oh, this one? I don't know.
Right.
But the most beautiful girls, even by the time they're 21, 22, 23, always be dating a normal looking dude.
Yes.
Just some fucking dude. If he put on a brown shirt and dropped off your UPS package, you'd be like, oh, makes sense. Right. Except they're extremely successful and ambitious and mature and usually 10 years older. You know?
Exactly. I never went for the young, like, model boy type. I was not attracted to
probably
that
because you grew up very fast and you matured out of that very fast.
Yeah, they never did it for me. Like, not even sexually. I would think about them and I was like, no, it doesn't do it for me. I'm gonna think of the successful guy with the dad bod. That'll get me there.
You're banging a six pack. You're like, dad bod, dad.
Yeah, exactly. So then the guys, like, if they were with me, they would see like a guy with a six pack. Oh, you think that's hot? I'm like, actually, no, I don't.
Like, no, I'm good on that.
Like, I don't. I mean, like, good for him. Like, I'm all about fitness and, you know, being strong and in shape and stuff. But sexually, like, what I'm looking for, that didn't do anything for me. You know. Yeah, I'm like, let me see your credit score. You know, that does it for me.
If you're not at least 750,
yeah, exactly.
Red flag.
Right.
That's an ick.
Exactly. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah, different things.
It is interesting, because like even me, like in my 20s before I had money, like coming from Wisconsin, just broke as fuck.
Right.
But like probably better looking because I was younger and everything. But I definitely get way more chicks now that I'm like older,
right,
and like more successful, like not as good looking. And
wait, everything. How long have you been in LA?
Probably like a decade, something like that. So
like, okay, like 2013,
maybe something like that.
I came out like right around that
because there was a while where I was kind of back and forth, and then I ended up moving here. So I don't know I can't remember the exact year, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I came out here with like $2,000 in my pocket. But I had a ton of piercings. I had like a nose ring. I'm definitely more attractive now.
The glow up is real.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can definitely see how now, you know, more girls would be into you than back in the day. Because guys get better looking to a girl when they get older. Not when they're younger. No offense. If you're young,
some
like,
girls will disagree with you on that.
Okay, some girls will disagree, but like the girls that you want, they're gonna be on my side.
Yeah. I think most girls eventually come around to that. I think some girls take longer than others to.
I mean, they're young. Like, go have fun.
It is what it is.
Yeah, but when you get older and you're more serious, like that's not what we're looking for. Yeah.
It's interesting. My dad used to tell me, we had this like cabin up north.
Where?
Boulder Junction. It's like outside of Minocqua.
Okay.
And there's be these like turtles on like the beach area. And so we'd always play with the turtles, you know, put them in the milk jug. Like, oh, can we keep them? No, you got to give them
like the baby frogs.
Kind of. Yeah. And every so often we'd see these little things like suction to the back of the turtle shell.
Yeah, the leech.
Yeah, well, my dad said they're remoras. I guess it's like a kind of fish, like the small fish. And literally what they do is they attach themselves to the back of the turtle shell and they just literally mooch off the turtle until the turtle eventually dies. And then they move on to the next turtle. And I remember my father saying, I was like, oh, Daddy, what are these? He's like, oh, those are remora. And he explained what they do. And he's like, Zach, someday you're going to have remora in your life. And I never understood what he meant until I moved to LA. And then it's like, yeah, you got to learn how to read people here.
100%. Yeah. I've had some remoras.
Yeah.
I've definitely had my fair share of remoras.
I'm sure. It's funny, like, as a girl saying that, you know.
Oh, no.
But you have, like, money. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, people, even when you don't have money, but everyone in LA wants, like act like they do. And then even then, did I have, like, people attacking me? Even when I didn't have, like, a lot. It was still, like, remoras.
Like, beauty is currency out
here.
Beauty
and also social media is currency, clout, all of that. So, yeah, I've had remoras. my whole damn life.
It's interesting because people move to LA and it's like LA like is like dating on hard mode. It's like there's narcissists, there's like liars, there's like fuckboys, there's like sugar daddies, everything, right?
Right.
And it's like people either figure it out or they become extremely jaded. And I find that's actually another reason like my age range is typically like 23 to 26 because a lot of girls after that have this like they've been just fucked over too many times and it's just like jaded and a little bit like I don't know.
That's why like you got to put your foot down. After a while, I feel like I used to be a serial dater in my early to mid 20s, and then as soon as I hit like 25, I mean, I would slowly date. Like I would be single for like a year and a half, and then I would date a guy for 3 months, and then I'd be single for another year, and then so you get pickier. I guess it depends on the girl. If you're successful and independent and have ambitions, then I feel like you don't get as jaded because you have something you're going after. But if you let a guy control you like that constantly, and if you're going through a pattern where you're constantly dating those kind of fuckboys, then of course you're going to be jaded and fucked up. And then like you need to do hella therapy if you're ever going to end up having a functioning relationship, you know? I mean, I do hella therapy, but I've been fucked up since I was little. So.
Did you have a lot of fuckboys in your days?
Oh yeah, fuckboys, dad. Everyone has daddy issues. I see.
What happened?
Daddy and mommy issues. He's just I love my dad now. We have a good relationship, but he was a massive fuckboy in his day. And then just wasn't around a whole lot, and there was like a lot of things. And then as I got older, he would open up to me about all of it, and then I'd be like, okay, I don't really want to like almost act like I was like a bro. And then before that, I was like he acted like I worked for him. He was like a hard ass on me. So one of those things. Didn't hear I love you until I was like 18.
So did you then because typically people say like you date guys that are like your father. Did you go through that phase?
Okay. I'm still kind of in that phase. I have a new great therapist. I've been doing therapy for years, but my new girl I met in October, and she finally like really clicked with me. And I feel like I'm making like big strides. So I'm not like I'm not doing the same old bullshit that I used to do, and it's hard. But I'm constantly aware. Yeah, which is good.
I've always been curious because so I grew up like very nice guy, pushover, religious parents, that kind of thing. And then I like got friend zoned so many fucking times. I became a massive fuckboy for like 8 years. And now I kind of graduated out of that, and now I'm a little less fuckboy-ish. Although I've retained some of my fuckboy personality traits.
Like what?
Just not being such a fucking pushover like I was back in the day.
Okay. Pushover to what extent? Because I feel like sometimes a little pushover is like good. No?
You say that, but you would never date. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Stop lying to me.
No.
Don't lie to me.
What do you mean? Everyone loves a little bit of a pushover.
No, you don't.
I'll push you up a swing.
I literally, so the first girlfriend I ever had, we dated. This was in high school. I couldn't get chicks. I was like helpless with girls. Like literally, they started a rumor that I was gay at school because I was like so bad with girls.
Okay.
And finally this girl liked me, and she was like, she told my friend, can tell Zach to ask me to prom. I was like fucking pumped. Don't fuck this up, Zach. I was like so excited to have a girlfriend.
Okay. So
we start dating, and every Monday, this is how big of a simp I was. Every Monday I would drive to the Walmart between our houses at 6 a.m. And I would pick up flowers and a pack of the purple Skittles because that was her favorite kind of Skittles. Aww. And I'd write a little note and I would just leave it on her doorstep. So
that's so sweet.
See, you say that.
No, I don't say it. What are you talking about? That's the shit I like. That every girl would love that. She didn't like it?
So here's what happened.
Okay.
We date. I do that every Monday. 3.5 years. We're in college now.
3.5 years every Monday?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, switch it up.
So all of a sudden I get a call from my buddy. And he's like, yo, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but I'm at a party last night. I see Julie going to one of the rooms with this guy. They're in there for like 30 minutes. Everybody's saying they're hooked up. I'm like, no, bro, we're in love. You would never do this to me. We're soulmates, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So the next day, I go confront her. I'm at her dorm room. I'm fucking shaking, right? Knock on the door. She opens it. And like, kind of like, yo, people are saying this about you. And the crazy part, she just admitted it. She's like, yeah. And the worst part was the guy she cheated on me with was the guy she would always complain about. Oh, he's like talking to two of my friends at the same time behind their backs. He's an asshole, like all these kind of things. And I'm like, this guy?
Yeah.
And I still remember the last thing she said to me. I remember I was like bawling my eyes out. She's like completely nonchalant, like doesn't give a fuck.
That's so fucked up.
And I was like, Julie, I would do
up.
everything to make you happy. I just want to know why.
Yeah.
And she literally looks at me. She goes like this. And then she goes, I just got bored. And that day, I was like, I will never be this fucking nice guy like, simp again.
A little bit more fucked up now. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, no, I get that.
And that's when I transitioned to my fuckboy phase.
Right. And I get that. I feel like I've turned some guys into fuckboys because I've broken some hearts. But that's because I heard some things on the grapevine and I thought they were cheating on me type of thing. So
and were they?
Broke their hearts.
Was it true or was it a...
I'm not sure because people were like jealous because we were like we were like the it couple in high school. And then I was like, fuck you. But I've definitely had my fair share of like simps or guys who do like sweet things for me. And the older I've gotten, the more I appreciate it. I can see that if she was like in college and high school, like maybe she just wanted to experiment. I'm sure she's probably, banging her head on the desk now, but, or she's with that guy and having.
Oh, well, I got back at her actually.
What, you fucked her friends?
No.
Her mom?
No, deeper than that.
Her sister.
Deeper than that.
What?
So 8 years, right? Every day I'm so fucking pissed. I just wake up at 6 a.m., work on my YouTube channel. I have this other business that's a YouTube channel, blah, blah. 8 years, become a fuckboy, do all that shit. Finally, my YouTube channel blows up. I'm making good money. Move to LA, get the house, get the car. And I find her on Instagram and I followed her.
Okay.
And she follows me back. So then I post all these stories of me with models at my mansion, cars, like all the fuckboy shit.
Okay,
right?
Typical man.
And she unfollows me, right?
Okay. Ooh, she's jealous.
Yeah. So then the next day I drive to Walmart.
Uh-huh.
I get a pack of the purple Skittles and I take a picture of it and I send it to her. And I said, thank you for making me the man that I am today. And then underneath my last toxic moment, so I can get girls who are way hotter than you, fire emoji. And that moment, I healed my inner child. All my trauma is gone.
Damn, you
waited 8 years. And then she blocked me on all platforms.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You waited 8 years for that moment.
I did. Yeah. It was literally the greatest moment of my life.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah. I mean, I get it. There's moments like that where it's like good to say fuck you. But, wow. Well, I don't want you to lose that soft inner boy.
But I'm saying,
I mean, I know you're jaded, but like I feel like that's such like a good trait to have.
But I'm not jaded about that anymore. Now I'm just very logical about it.
Okay.
And when I say retain some of my fuckboy traits, like the truth is,
maybe she didn't want any more Skittles. Like that's a lot of Skittles.
It is a lot of Skittles.
I've been like, oh my god, like
can you have some M&Ms?
Yeah, like fucking, like you know what I mean? Or like, every Monday you want like it's a different treat. Here, some tiramisu.
You would probably love that. Yeah. Different dessert every Monday.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just
not Mondays, Fridays.
I just realized that like. The truth is, you do have to play the game as a guy to some extent. And I don't like it. I wish I could just be a good little simp and run around with my simp friends doing simp activities. But I would just be lonely the rest of my life. Like, you have to play the game. It is what it is.
I think guys think that, but I don't think it's necessarily true. I think now there's a bigger need for simps more than ever.
The universe needs the simps.
We do.
Simps, assemble. Assemble.
Bring back the simps. And you will get girls like me. Because I feel like we're so over the fuckboys. Like,
girls say that.
We are. If you can be my personal fuckboy and my personal simp at the same time and be loyal and loving and feed me and and take me on a vacation, and like I will be your slut. No. But yes. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that's all we want. And then like, you know, be good in bed. Like,
okay.
And pay for our meals and like, I feel like it's like, and be loyal. Like, we're not looking, I feel like every single guy is just such a fuckboy now. And it's making all these girls like so insecure. Like, that's why we're going off and doing stuff. It's because we're like, you guys, like, if you're going to be a fuckboy, then why should I not be a fuck girl?
Yeah, fair game.
Yeah. But we don't want to be fuck girls.
We don't want to be fuckboys either.
Well, what the fuck? We should end this bullshit.
What happens is, the problem is, because a lot of girls say this, I like nice guys, I like the sweet-hearted, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But then the problem is, I go out into reality, and I use my eyeballs, and I'm like, that hot girl, who is she dating? Oh, fuckboy. That hot girl, who is she dating? Fuckboy. Fuckboy, 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 fuck. Oh, there's a nice guy. Oh, what happened to him? Oh, you broke his heart because you outgrew him or blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And now you're dating a fuckboy. And at some point, like, I have to use my eyeballs in reality or I have to be alone forever. Like, what do you want me to do?
No, but these girls are idiots. And also, I think these girls a lot of girls, to be honest with you, are coming to terms with the fact that every guy's going to fucking cheat now, which is horrible. And so, yeah, they're dating fuckboys because they're like, okay, well, if he has X, Y, and Z and he sleeps around, then I'll just look the other way and I'll go sleep around too. And then we can be happily ever after, whatever the fuck that is. But like, I just can't do it. My dad was a massive cheater, was having like multiple families type of thing. Like, and I draw the line. I can't do the infidelity. I even will have like my own. You can be a
fuckboy without cheating. You can still have the fuckboy characteristics.
Like what? Like taking being like posting sexy selfies on Instagram?
No, not necessarily stuff like that, but just like your attitude, like your vibe. Like you have to have like some level of like, I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
That's what I found. My relationships turn out better if I'm not too like
I don't know. I don't like that, to be honest with you. I don't. I hate that. I'm like, if a guy's not all about me, then like I start looking elsewhere. Like when a guy's all about me, then I'm like, oh my God, I'm all about you.
So when I was transitioning, not like that.
I was saying like
from no, my pronouns are he, him.
Okay.
My transitioning from nice guy to fuckboy, right? Mm-hmm. There was a time period where I started kind of developing into a fuckboy, into my like, you know, cocoon, and now I'm like in the butterfly stage, whatever.
Okay.
And I would have some of these fuckboy traits, and girls would start to fall in love with me, and it's like I would fall back. Well, once we kind of started dating, I would fall back into my old habits of being like too nice, too much of a simp, and like over and over, it would be like, yeah, I just lost feelings for you. I don't know what it is. Like you're such a great guy. Like any girl would be so lucky to have you, Zach. Just not me. And eventually I just learned, like, I don't know. It is what it is.
Are these 23-year-olds?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Because if I was 23, I'd probably think the same fucking thing.
Okay.
I think it depends what you're looking for. If you want to be a fuckboy, date that gap. But if you're looking for somebody who wants, like, you want to, you know, have a family with or whatever, then, like, you got to look in the right, like, categories. I'm trimming down like a motherfucker. I feel like my pool of men it's very small. It's so hard to find a guy who meets like all the qualifications these days. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I think you're just looking in the wrong spot.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to hop on Christian Mingle.
Yeah.
Church girl.
Switch it up. Yeah.
That's
or like take like a trip somewhere. Like every single weekend, go somewhere different and like
find a not LA girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Like go to like Wichita or some shit.
Exactly.
Find a girl from Kansas.
Yes. I mean, sure. But not 23 or 24 or 25. Like you can't, you know, I feel like don't assume that all those girls are jaded.
No, I don't assume it.
Right.
And there's some very great girls out there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, assumptions are dangerous. For sure. I mean, I'm the queen of assumptions, so that's one thing I always have to like watch myself on. But they are dangerous, and it's just something we make up in our heads, and then eventually, you know, it can manifest because we're looking for it.
I always give people one shot in LA. When I moved here,
one shot?
Yes. In terms of like when I moved here, it's like I would keep giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
And like, wait, are they lying about this? I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Oh, they lied again? Is it a lie? Now I give one people, if there's
That's
one
too
thing.
ruthless.
Okay, so here's an example, right? I remember one time we're supposed to hang out, me and this girl, right? And then she's like, you know, last second, oh, sorry, I have to work tonight, right? I'm like, okay, like you got called into work, no big deal. And then one of my friends sees her out at one of the clubs and is like, yo, this girl's at the club. So I kind of like, yo, like, what happened? And she was like, oh, well, I did go to work. And then afterward, my friends wanted to go out. I went to the club, but she never texted me, right?
Maybe she's a bottle service girl.
No, she wasn't. That would make sense, though.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about, babe? This is my side hustle.
So that's where I say, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt one time. But if another thing happens that's like, this doesn't really add up. I've just learned in LA, if two things happen, they're probably full of shit.
That's true.
And at some point, you have to protect yourself from being used or being manipulated.
100%. So. But also, LA is like the city of flake.
Yes.
Like, no one wants to like actually. I feel like you have to go for it like 10 times with somebody, and then you really know. I mean, I'm telling you, especially if it's in that gap. Like, I used to flake on so many guys when I was like in my mid to early 20s. And it was the guys who were very persistent and would put up with my bullshit for months and months that end up dating.
See, I would just lose respect for myself if I'm just constantly double texting and just like trying. Like at some point it's like, okay, like if you're not going to like I get it. Somebody has to put the effort in first, but then at some point if that effort's not reciprocated, it's
then they're just not genuinely interested. If they really, really were interested, then they would. You
just told me you made guys put an effort for months.
I wasn't interested. Yeah, I wasn't. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. They were persistent. I'll go on a date with them. And then they wooed me. And then I was like, okay.
But I also don't like, because, okay.
It was a simp thing for me. I told you.
Yeah.
I love a simp.
But that's another reason I don't like doing that is because.
You don't want to be a simp.
Like even if I end up getting in a relationship, like, oh, I got the girl. Now I'm in this relationship where the dynamic is, oh, I won her over. Instead of the dynamic being like we're a couple, we're like partners. It feels like this dynamic of, oh, I gave you a chance. Like the girl's almost like, and I'm like, so even if I get the girl with that method, I don't like the relationship that it gets me.
I mean, I do see what you're saying. Like I said, that was my early. Yeah, for sure. That was my fuck girl era. I get it. But Villain now, era. But now that I've gotten older, that's I take myself very serious, and if I say I'm gonna go out with you, then I'll commit to going out with you. I won't even like waste your time and talk to you if I'm not like genuinely interested. Yeah. Maybe a little bit here and there in the past, but now it's like no, I just don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
All right, we're about out of time. I got some rapid fire questions for you.
All right, hit it.
Favorite food?
Pasta and ice cream.
Have you been to Jones?
Yes.
It's like one of my favorites.
Jones on 3rd? Wait, Pasta Jones?
Jones. It's on Santa Monica Boulevard, probably like 5 blocks from here. Oh, it's super good.
For pasta?
Yeah. Oh, it's Italian.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's been around since like fucking 1800s or some shit.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just check it out.
Favorite candy bar? Or dessert? We'll go dessert for you.
I like rum raisin ice cream.
Rum raisin ice cream?
Rum raisin ice cream. Yes.
I don't think I've ever had that.
Super good. Haagen-Dazs.
Favorite first date spot or activity?
A nice meal, all the desserts, and let's see, activity. Sex. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Literally anything that doesn't suck. It's a horrible answer.
Girls are great communicators.
I like a movie. I love the movies.
Really? That's my least favorite.
No, I know. I love the movies. I'll take myself. Okay, you don't have to go, and I'll just go myself, and then, buy my ticket and sit in the car.
I just feel like you sit next to somebody, you don't get to know them, then you walk out of the movie, and it's just like, so what'd you think? Oh, yeah, it was pretty
guess,
good.
like, okay, first, like, yeah, I know. Okay, true. But if I'm going to go on a first date, I'm going to, like, I don't know. We're not going to do an activity. We're probably just going to go eat for like 3 hours.
Yeah, that's fair. I honestly, drinks is one of my favorite first dates.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of pressure.
Right.
The drinks loosens people up.
Right.
And then, like, if you're enjoying each other's company, okay, let's go to the next spot now.
Right.
Or you could get appetizers if you want something chill.
Right.
But for a first date, I'm a big fan of, like, simple. Like,
yeah,
just
I feel
drinks.
like a first date, I wouldn't do an activity and a meal. I feel like that's like overkill because like, what if you don't like the first thing? Now you have to drag yourself into a second thing that you committed to. That's a no-go for me.
I learned my lesson one time. I went to Six Flags with a girl on the first date. And Six Flags are just standing in line.
Oh.
And like, we didn't really like click. And I was just like,
Yeah.
now we're just like standing in line, but we already like paid for the tickets. I kind of want to use the tickets.
Right.
And it's just like, there's no, like, you can get drinks, but like, we're like standing in line so long, like you kind of sober up. So then it's just like, I don't know. It's just like not the move.
Right.
Yeah. But favorite or next travel destination you haven't been to that you want to go?
These are supposed to be rapid fire. I want to go to Thailand.
Ooh, I've been to Bali,
Yeah.
but I've never been to Thailand.
I haven't been to Bali either. I would like to go to
Bali's
Bali.
super a vibe.
Yeah. I don't know. So many spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
I want to do Philippines too. That's like right in.
I was just in Singapore for New Year's Eve, and it was like right there. Like, but yeah.
All right. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Where can people find you if they want to connect?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, awesome Antje. I'm shadow banned right now, so you have to type the whole thing in. It's
You might wanna
awesome.
spell that.
Hopefully you can spell awesome. It's AWESOME and then ANTJAY. And then you can find me on OnlyFans and Twitter. It's the same at awesome Antje.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
we'll have to do a round two sometime. This has been fun.
Yeah, it has been. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thanks for watching.